As you all know, Brexit did not happen immediately after the Brexit referendum in 2016. There were exhausting negotiations between the UK and the EU, first about the exit of the UK, and then about the future relationship between the EU and the UK. After the official Brexit on January 31st in 2020, where the UK officially left the EU and with it the EU Parliament, there was a transitional period until December 31st in 2020 to implement the new relationship. And I was talking about it some time already. There are some longer transitional periods for some areas, but this was just the main one. And people are talking a lot about the level of preparation for Brexit on different sides, or indeed the lack of preparation. So in a few of my videos, I will give you an overview about the extent of preparations by different countries involved, and of course the UK and the EU. And today I will tell you about the preparations in Croatia. Croatia, along with other EU member states, participated in the negotiations at the EU level to determine the future relationship with the UK. And these negotiations covered various aspects, including trade, security, and citizens' rights. The Croatian government was actively engaged in these discussions to protect its interests and ensure a smooth transition for its citizens and businesses. In the run-up to the end of the transition period on December 31st in 2020, Croatia focused on ensuring that its legal and administrative frameworks were prepared for the changes that would arise from Brexit. This included aligning national legislation with the new EU-UK relationship, updating regulations, and making any necessary adjustments to address the implications of Brexit. Efforts were also made to inform and educate Croatian businesses and citizens about the potential consequences of Brexit. The government provided guidance and assistance to individuals and organizations that might be affected by the new rules and regulations resulting from the UK's departure from the EU. And Croatia, like other EU member states, prepared for potential changes in trade relations with the UK. And this involved assessing the impact on various sectors of the economy, identifying new trade opportunities, and adapting to potential changes in tariffs, customs procedures, and regulations. Croatia focused on ensuring its legal and administrative frameworks were ready for the new EU-UK relationship. And this involved aligning national legislation with the changes brought about by Brexit and updating regulations to reflect the new circumstances. Croatia, as an EU member state, had to adapt its border and customs procedures to accommodate the new realities of trade with the UK. And this included implementing necessary measures to facilitate the flow of goods and ensure compliance with customs regulations. As fisheries were a contentious issue in the Brexit negotiations, Croatia, along with other EU member states, worked to protect the interests of its fishing industry. Measures were likely taken to safeguard access to fishing waters and ensure the sustainable management of fisheries resources. And Croatia, being a popular tourist destination for UK citizens, prepared for potential changes in travel and tourism flows. Efforts were made to ensure visa-free travel for UK visitors, address any changes in passport requirements, and communicate any new entry procedures. And Croatia, as an EU member state, participated in the negotiations to secure the rights of its citizens residing in the UK and protect the rights of UK citizens living in Croatia. This involved addressing issues such as residency, social security, and healthcare. Compared to other EU member states, indeed there was a lower amount of preparations in Croatia as far as it is publicly known. And before the end of the transition period on December 31st in 2020, Brexit preparations were considered highly important for all affected countries, both within the European Union and the United Kingdom. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the transition period began after the UK officially left the EU on January 31st in 2020. And it allowed time for both parties to negotiate their future relationship and make necessary arrangements. Some did it to a higher extent, some to a lower extent, and in some parts you can see how important those preparations were for the life after Brexit. And if you want to know what happened in other countries or another topic, the next video is right in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.